Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My name is R, not her real name. I am about to tell you a story that I pray that no other woman will ever have to live. Currently, I am staying here in South Africa, but my confession, if there are other young girls, maybe who are foreigners, as I am right now, and when you are desperate for money, looking for opportunities, please listen to me carefully, because life sometimes it is not what you always think it is. I did left my own country. This was in the year 2016. Even if someone would do a research on my life, I was someone that was not okay. Maybe it was partly because I grew up in an environment that was not so stable. My mom, she used to bring multiple boyfriends. She would sleep with these men, thinking that we were fast asleep, because my father, he would be working on the night shift, and then she would bring her boyfriends, and then they would wait for us to fall fast asleep. And what they did not know was that when they would be busy making love, me and my little brothers, we would wake up, and then we will just remove the blankets and we would watch my mother and her countless boyfriends as they were sleeping together. This affected me and my brothers a lot. You know, when we were growing up, there is this other game in Shona, we call it Maumbre, that we used to play. So what will happen was that with all the things that we were witnessing with my brothers, we started to experiment. I started sleeping with my brothers even though we were still very young. The very first day when this happened, it was after we started playing around, and then we started stripping each other naked, and then we started sleeping together, such that I fell pregnant because I started to sleep with my brother from that young age until I was round about 14 years when I discovered that I had fallen pregnant for my elder brother, and we removed that pregnancy. We really did not even know what we were doing at that time. All that he did was that he was working for this other man, and he was busy making farm bricks for that man. After he had been paid, that was when he went to the shops. He bought different types of pain medication, and I drank them all, such that I started to feel so much dizzy, and I felt as if there was someone that was stabbing me with some sharp needles, and then I just collapsed. I woke up. My mom, lucky enough, she was not around on that day. When I woke up, I then found out that I was bleeding, and it was heavy bleeding, I tell you. And from that time going onwards, me and my brother, we kept on doing whatever that we were doing. Whenever it would be time for him to release his semen into me, he would pull out and release it on the ground, because we did not want to do it again. For me to fall pregnant the way that I had fallen pregnant for him at that time. So fast forward, I then started to be friends with other girls that were as naughty as I was. We would go to different places where music will be played until the late hours of the night. On our way back, if a man will say that I want to sleep with you, I'll charge that man. And that is how I became a prostitute without the knowledge of my mother. The day that my mother found out that I was a prostitute, I thought that maybe she was going to be so angry with me, but no, to my surprise, she said, you just need to be careful, try to condomize as much as you can. And I started working in a saloon at that time, and it made the situation to be worse. Not that each and every person that is working in a saloon is like that, but the environment, it is so much that it can push you into those type of relationships, because you feel so much freedom when you are with those type of women. And basically most of the women that do work in the saloons, they are prostitutes, and then there are those that are trustworthy. But hanging around with those women, then they will start to teach them how to do prostitution, like I did with so many women that I met when I came here to South Africa. I'll always be having money laughing at those that are married, saying, so what is the use of you struggling in life when you know that you can go out there and make money rather than for you to wait for your own husband? So I came here to Johannesburg, and then I started staying in Hillbrow. Let me say that being in Hillbrow, I have witnessed rituals, I have witnessed murder, I have witnessed some girls that are brought even from neighboring countries as human trafficked, and things that are so dark, such that when I started staying in Hillbrow, I would have nightmares. And when I arrived here, I had this other cousin of mine who was also working from a small flat in Hillbrow, and when I started staying with her, she told me that it was different. The prostitution that I was used to was very different in Hillbrow. She then said that it is not safe. Even when you enter Hillbrow, you'll just see that something is not right. The streets are always crowded. Men from different walks of life, your Nigerians, your Congolese, so much dangerous, those ones, they only do not use rituals, but they are violent as well. South Africans, I was even shocked that some Europeans are into these things of prostituting women that will be under their care. So my cousin, she introduced me to some women, and then she told me that this was time for us to make money. There was this other Nigerian guy who once called me, and I was his victim. He singled me out, and he saw that I knew nothing about the streets of Hillbrow. He was like, do you want to make real money? I hesitated, but I was broke. I really was not getting customers as such, so I said yes. So he then said, just go and sit with those men after we had gone to this other club. Talk to them, be friendly, they will give you money. They gave me 500 rands, and the way that he dragged me into his world was that after those men had given me money, he just said, see, easy money, easy money. And throughout the night, I was with those guys, and after the night, those guys, they gave me 2,000, the one that had slept with me. And once you start with such an amount, it is impossible to stop. But one thing that I started to notice was that there were girls that would come to Hillbrow, like your local students, and when they would come, they would use those young women so much that you will feel sorry for them, like they will just disappear. You would be looking at a person and you will see that the soul of that person is totally gone. The person will be there, but she'll be without a soul. And I even witnessed one which I thought could be ritual killing, because there was this other guy who booked me for a night. When I was with him in his car, I saw that there was blood everywhere in his vehicle. I only opened the door of his vehicle whilst I was driving. I jumped off so much that I had to stay in the hospital for a long time. I just got so scared. And there are drugs, and the drugs there in Hillbrow, it is like a curse. I tried it, and I told myself that I will never ever do it again. So if you do post my story, you need to know that there are women out there that are helpless, women that might seem as if they are okay, that are prostituting themselves in and around Hillbrow. They really need help. I don't know what kind of help that they might need, but I just thought that it is wiser that I bring myself to you so that I can just tell you this confession. Maybe out there are those that have a plan to help those women. Maybe if Hillbrow will be shut down, the buildings to be brought down, it might even be better for everyone. With everything that I witnessed in that small neighborhood, it is quite a dangerous neighborhood, believe you me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister right there. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.